All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Silent Podcast. We are covering Survivor South Africa. I'm here with my co host, Jason, my alliance. Jason, we made it to the merge. How do you feel?
It's time for the feast. I'm really excited because right before this podcast, I just got tickets to the new Double O Santini movie, 4 votes left. So wait till it hits theaters next fall. I can't wait.
Oh my God, not
How are
this.
you?
I love it. Just like Chappie's is eating at the merge, I feel like they're feeding us. Like we needed everything because we know that Survivor South Africa, their editing is pretty like what is happening is what's going to happen. There's no like trick shot edits, but I was like, oh, finally they got me. Like, there's no way this is going to happen. Like the math cannot math. It's Luna 1.0 is done. Like, oh, and I was like, Tyson's going to go home. I just know Tyson's going to go home because who else is going to go? This is so bad. Like, something's going to go wrong. So that's where I was. So thank God we're here. We made it, Jason.
It's time to feast. I'm excited to talk about this episode. I also was nervous for Tyson and our queen, Santini.
Santini, you had us in the first half. Not gonna lie, because and again, sorry, disclaimer. And Jason, please add yours as well. But disclaimer. This was a wild episode. We're still trying to process our feelings on it, so we might be all over the place, and we might forget stuff. And if we do, tweet us or tag us or comment, and we will make sure to cover it in the next episode because we'll be back next week as always. So we might forget. Let us know if we do. Any other disclaimers, Jason?
It also might not be in the right order.
Yes.
We did the best we could to take notes on this action-packed, strategy-filled episode, and I don't know if I wrote everything down in order, and I don't know if the show showed us everything in chronological order. So we're going to do our best to talk about it, and we hope to hear what you say in the comments, tweet us, and I can't wait to hear what you think about this episode, Sasha. Give me your thoughts. From the jump, yes. What did you think?
Yes. So we start, again, they're setting us up. Anila v. Varda, and it's a whole Varda says Anila has an ego. He hasn't been a good team player. So, let's see how far this takes him. So I'm immediately like, oh, something's happening here. And then at the next at the next camp, this is where I need to know your thoughts, Jason. Apparently, Marisha just looks up and turns out there is something hidden up there. So first of all, I will say humans are naturally, we don't look up. So they in emergency drill situations that I have actually done, they do say you're supposed to hide up if you're in trouble because humans' line of sight, we usually don't go above our line of sight. So this could be something like Survivor did do, but I want to know, one, how did she look up? I mean, was the camera constantly going in that route? Because how did she know? So that's one. And anyway, so let's just quit. And then she starts almost very assertively telling Rhaenyra, you need to come here. Jason, tell me everything, please.
I think you're right. I think she noticed the camera over the last few days keeps looking up in that tree. And she couldn't see anything. But all of a sudden, she woke up and saw something in the tree. Why didn't she try to climb it? I know she's not the tallest person. She's very athletic. I believe she could climb a rope faster than anyone else on that beach. But instead, like you said, she very assertively ran over, seemed to wake not just Rhaenyra up, but everyone up. Exactly. And if I was on that beach, if I was Chappie's, I would have stood 10 feet away watching them because he and everyone else was woken up. But it also shows Rhaenyra's relationship building and how much Marisha trusts him because she could have woken up Nicole.
Yeah, and she definitely wanted to use him to go up, and I think Nicole maybe isn't that person, but why not Sean, right? Another man who can probably also have the same amount of reach. But yes, that, props to Rhaenyra on that. But I agree, very bad for Chappie's or whoever else that didn't decide, hey, why is Marisha yelling like this? I just want to check it out. If it's nothing, great, cool. Let them just talk. I don't even care to hear what they're talking about, but I want to see what's going on because 9 times out of 10, it's a immunity idol.
And what happened next when Marisha, we hear from her, she wants to tell her tribe. We see her and Rainier telling their tribe. It gave me Coach South Pacific vibes. This is a tribe idol. Let's use it to build unity because that's who Marisha is as a player.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel strongly if it was up to Rainier, he would not have told any of them. He would have kept
100%.
his mouth shut and kept it until he heard his name. But he was forced to tell the group at Marisha's hand because ultimately she found the idol first, not him.
So yes, and that's what I want to know. Whose idol was it? Is it Rainier's or is it Marisha's? That's number one. Because I don't know, to me, Marisha didn't really seem to care. Versus at least Santini last episode was mad, right? That, oh my God, I can't believe I just gave Tyson the idol. Like, that's so stupid of me. At least we got that. But for Marisha, to me, it didn't seem like it mattered to her. She was just like, yeah, it's our idol. So Rainier's just holding it. Cool.
She is so strong in the Vuna OG camp that if
Zamba.
he has an idol, Zamba, I apologize, Zamba OG camp, that if he has the idol, she is the idol. And we saw as this episode progressed, she can tell him when to play the idol. So I think it really is hers and he's just carrying it around for her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't figure it out. And the reason I say that, well, I know we'll talk about it later, and I'm definitely jumping, but at Tribal Council, Nicole and Marisha weren't moving until Rainier said it was okay. Like, I want to make that clear. That's why I wasn't sure, I will say, where I was just like, this is a little shady. It's going a little bit back and forth. I'm not happy about it, but I guess it's okay. We'll figure it out. So now Amy and Sean and Anila, no, not Anila yet. Amy and Sean are brought in. There is someone else I know in the back because there's 5 people. I just couldn't remember who the 5th one was, but whatever, it's fine. And anyway, so old Zamba basically knows about the idol. That's kind of it. We now get really fun tree mail. It's merge time.
Woo!
I feel like we need like the Blue's
We
Clues.
made it.
Yes, we need the mail time, but instead of merge. Anyway, I love the merge. What do you think, Jason?
I love the way that the producer showed us each player's perspective.
Yes.
We got to hear from almost everyone how they're going to approach the next phase of the game. We learned that Inesu has been playing spicy and saucy, but now it's her time to play the game she wants. And I loved hearing that strategic side of her.
Yes.
We hear Chappies talk about, they let me go this far. I'm at the gates. The gates are open. I'm here to play. We also heard a similar confession from Sean and the rest of them throughout the game.
Yeah. Exactly. And I also I love that, they were like, here's all the food you have ready for you. It looked really good, I will say. And I know you have a question about gin and tonic. So I feel like now is the time. Let's get into like the food before we get into maybe the gameplay.
I couldn't believe how much food they had. This is a feast for 30 people. There's only 12 of them sitting there at that beautiful long table.
Yeah. Also, sorry, interestingly, the table was only on one side. I wonder if that was strategic and on purpose also.
Oh, yeah. They wanted to film everyone's facial reactions and catch them clocking each other, looking for whom they were talking to who.
Yeah.
I loved what they had to eat. I'm a big fan of curry. So hearing there were 3 kinds of it, I was ready to eat. I don't know if it's the best thing to eat on Survivor. They got wine, they got soda, and they got gin and tonics. As someone who is a gin drinker, I was really surprised to see them having blueberries and orange slices in their gin. Very exotic. I'm kind of here for it. Maybe I'll try it later on. But as what I just said, as someone who likes gin and tonics, I would not drink them on the beach. I would not agree with Chappies. Even though he loves drinking wine, this is not the time to drink. This is the time to assess our competitors and see what is going to compel us to the end of the game.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't drink like really anyway, but if I were to drink, the merge is not the time for it because I have to be way more on it. And I think Anisa's strategy would be mine where maybe I wouldn't be a Santini and, kind of like get into the conversations, but I'll definitely be looking and then going back to my alliance and be like, these people are here. I saw this, and I saw this. And now Speaking of, Anisu, I feel like is on one spectrum of stealth. She's like looking, she's clocking, she's quiet. And then we have our bestie, our drunk friend, Chappies, on the other spectrum of the merge. Just being like,
looking everywhere.
Like, excuse me, is it under the camera? I don't know.
He was being so obvious. Everyone could see it. And I feel maybe once he realized all eyes were on him, he was playing it up. He was being a ham, faking it almost, because hopefully as I'm goofing around pretending to look, they won't see me as much of a threat.
Yeah, I really think he is this whole episode, right? We'll get into the biggest thing he does, but like I was like, this is the start of his like, not dodo. I don't think it's dodo edit, but like the circus edit where I was like, he's getting the silly music. Like I'm loving this, but I will say the biggest joke is that the camera was panning the little clue that was there. How did you not drop something and then be like, let me check under this table? There are at least 2 or 3 tables. What are you doing, Chappies? What you doing?
And do you know what table that was?
It was the drinks table, I think.
So when they were all watching Chappies refill his wine cup for the third time, none of them saw this little parchment wrapped up. That's what surprised me.
Yes, we needed Michaela because I remember Michaela just grabbing it. Yes. So to me, that's what I thought was interesting. So that's why I thought Chappies kept going over to that table. And I thought we were going to get a confessional for him saying, they think I'm drinking this much, but I'm actually just going over there to look because that's the only table I haven't looked at. So that's what I thought was happening. That is not what happened. And I think the 3 wine glasses took over eventually, and I think he kind of lost it, where he's just like looking under Varda's plate, Santoni's plate, and then Santoni calls him out.
That was one of my favorite moments. And she's like, oh, you didn't look under here yet.
Yeah.
And it really showed me the type of relationship that they have, that she is so comfortable with him that she can make those jokes in front of everyone, knowing he's going to take it the right way.
Exactly. And like, I think Chappies is a good sport at the end of the day because like they were really dragging him, being like, what is this? Is he dumb? Like, what is going on with him? Why would he be so obvious? But to me, it seemed like he gave 0 Fs at that point. And again, alcohol was involved, but hilarious to watch. And I appreciated actually the time they spent on it.
And I strongly believe after watching this that wine drunk Chappies is my favorite version of Chappies.
Oh, 100%.
I want to hang out with this guy. He was having so much fun.
Yeah.
Throughout it all, especially when his conversation with Warda happened. When they talked about the reset button, I actually thought to myself, how drunk is he? Does he think there's a real button there?
Oh my God.
Because she wasn't buying in at first yet.
Yeah. So that's where, again, I got confused because I thought he was looking under the plate again. And I was like, no, it's not going to be right there. And why are you like in front of everyone? But then he started talking about, no, the reset button. That's what I'm looking for. So I thought it was like a sweet moment. I will say Varda is like a softie. I feel like at the end of the day where she is really, she's like, I'm not like Anella. I, won't hold grudges forever. Like I'm willing to work with him. And again, I do think Vuna 1.0, I'm saying it now, are strategically together a better team. They are a team, I feel like, where they're better at sacrificing versus Zamba, where I feel like it's a lot of, alphas, but not a lot of betas who are willing to kind of follow. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then I thought
it was weird. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
Before, it's Chappies is telling Warda about this mysterious dessert.
Oh my God. Sorry. Yes.
I thought it was just so bizarre that they, as a group, decided to call the loved one video reward their dessert. Especially because they were at a Mexican feast, which you don't normally have desserts after.
Yeah. Tres leches is, the only, and flan. But I feel like that's not like after. It just kind of is there.
But I thought it was a very smart move of him to open up to her like that, to build that relationship. And it was genuine. I don't think he was doing it to rub it in her face that she didn't get that video. And it showed us, as you just described, with Warda's confessional, she is here to play the game. She will work with anyone that will get her to the end. And I love hearing that type of gameplay.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we want, right? From our survivor players. Like, I don't want someone that's like almost a Marisha that's like going to be so stuck in their gameplay that they're not willing to budge and they're not
Mhm.
willing to really work with, the other side, quote unquote, or whatever, but they're not willing to budge, basically, is the point, and they're not fluid, and that's really going to hurt your game. So, Varda one didn't have a choice. Like that was on your camp. Like you need to work with him. And then two, I will say intent versus impact is very important.
Mm.
Where I think if again Chappie's was not drunk, maybe the delivery would have been a little nicer. I will say what we saw, I don't think I would have said it that way. I think they could have been a better way of saying it to say like, I missed you and I wish our tribe, Vuna, would, old Vuna would have
Mhm.
got that together. Like, here's what happened. They don't want me to share it with you, but like, to me, it's really important that like there's ways to say it. Oh my God. And then Sean, I think this is where Sean's grudge starts. And we know this man holds
Mhm.
grudges for life.
Yeah, the other thing that stood out to me before we get to Sean's grudge is not only Anesu, but Santini clocking
Yep.
the three blonde girls and how they're acting. And we hear Santini talk about how she hates these types of people, both in the game and in her real life. But she is going to have to do what it takes to walk over to them and have a fake conversation. And boy, does she have a conversation.
Oh my God. I knew I could like feel you fuming when I was watching the show. And we were not even texting about it, y'all. But like, it was so frustrating to watch. Like, what is wrong with them? Or, sorry, I don't think it's them. I really do think that Marisha and Nicole very much versus like Amy, because we
Mhm.
obviously saw a completely different side of Amy these last few episodes where she is willing to work, she is fluid, she is like fine. Like her alliance is her alliance, but she's willing to still like hear everyone out, which is what we want. And then I feel like these other two kind of corrupt her, if that's the right word.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's the right word, but these three blondes, man, they're pissing me the hell off.
And I was impressed that Santini approached the
Yes.
situation showing vulnerability. I've been
Yeah.
nervous, but I'm confident. I'm happy. I don't have to be nervous today. None of us are going home,
Yes.
which I thought was a bridge to build on to form a
Mm-hmm.
relationship between her and Marisha. And
Oh,
Marisha just
definitely.
rubbed her face in the bottom of that bridge, said, "Well, you have at least four. You have four votes left."
Yeah, we'll keep you around for, two more. And I was just like, what is wrong with you
If
that you
someone
would
said that to
say that?
you, how would you react to that, Sasha?
No, okay. I'm really trying to think. I think the right way to react is what Santini said, where it's like, oh, like I appreciate at least you letting me know. Like, I would want to work with you. Like, I think that's the kind of thing I would say, kind of very much because Marisha seems to be the type of person that does want people to not grovel, but that are like, Marisha, tell me what to do. So I think
Mhm.
I would definitely do it as like a let me act like I'm her minion. And I do think like because of my voice and my stature, I do come off that way. So I would definitely use that to my advantage to say, like, yeah, Marisha, like, let me know, like Kieran said, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So, as long as I can stay, I really love this game. So, like, thank you. And then I would walk my ass up to my alliance and be like, we need to bury whatever the hell we have going on because look at us. We're about to get picked off. If you've seen any other Survivor or any other, strategy game, like you'll know not the minority alliance, the people on the out always need to come together so that we cannot be picked off for no reason. So I think I would use what Marisha said, like to do that. And it does take a lot of, trust, but what do you have to lose, man? What do you have to lose?
I agree. I think Santini did a great job
Yes.
reacting to this, and I don't know if I would have reacted that way. I feel I would have had a facial reaction that would have let Marisha know she couldn't trust me.
Yeah, I would have rolled my eyes, I think, because that's, again, what I do when people irritate me. So, yeah, I think it would have been bad. I think I would have to look down or something. And my body language, yeah, I think would have, like, almost blocked her out, where, like, I think I would have, like, turned away, looked down, even though I'm at the edge of the table, or maybe walked up to get a drink of water or something. Like, I know that if we go on Survivor, Jason, we have to have like these decoys, like Tiffany has in the current Big Brother season, where we almost need to know ahead of time, like, hey, I have 0 poker face, so here are my 5 excuses, or here are my 10 excuses, or here are the 10 things I need to be doing so that I don't like drag this person to filth, which will give me clout for like 2 minutes, but I'll get voted out.
I also just want to say before we move on that I think it showed Marisha's level of comfort, where she felt she was in the numbers, she just found an idol, and she has nothing to lose and can tell Santini whatever she wants.
And this is, like I said, very much the like how the mighty have fallen moment, where they all, not all, I no, that's not right. Amy and Nicole and maybe Rainier. I think Rainier is the least, but the 3 of them do like falter a little bit. But and Sean, sorry, not Rainier, Sean. Amy, Nicole, and Sean, do kind of suss it out, but absolute power absolutely corrupts, and that's exactly what happened with the rest of this episode, where they really like just kind of say, no, we just need to stick to the plan, and we're gonna get the right outcome. Thought. I would love to know, Jason. Now we're back. We're at the Vuna camp, which I think is the better camp, as it has better vibes. It's the most winningest camp. And so I will say, I would love to know, what are your thoughts on all the upgrades?
I couldn't believe it. What show are we watching?
Yeah.
Survivor South Africa sponsors have brought in it with all the rewards, with the advantages, and now the new hotel tribe they have.
Yeah.
With the chickens, which, okay, in Survivor history, they've given the merge tribe chickens before, but never have they upgraded a camp like they did to the Osendile merge tribe.
Oh, yeah. We forgot to talk about the actual name. Sorry. Let's go back there really quickly. So they're now, merged. And we do get a really pretty blue tribe it's called Osendile, which I forget what language it is, so I apologize. But it means the one who recovered, the one who made it. And Tyson gives us the explanation. And Nico says yes, which means survivor. I thought it was beautiful. Like, what did you think about the name too?
At first, I was very confused and troubled that production named the merge tribe.
Yeah.
Because so often they show us that scene of, what are we going to call our tribe? You know a lot about merge tribe names, Sasha. Yeah. And this was given to them. But I loved the reasoning, and it resonated with all of them. And I think Nico was so impressed with Tyson's explanation, because he was ready just to say, Survivor,
yeah, exactly. And I think, again, a great moment. Like, these players are playing when they don't need to, or not don't need to, but when they don't have to, they're still, on, I feel like. So I loved it. And I will say, and this is my question for you, has tribe names like been given before, especially in international Survivor? Or I'm not sure if anyone watching knows LMK.
I'm not sure either. I feel like it could have happened in past Survivor South Africa details, but merge names are not something that stand out to me. So it's not something that I look out for or pay attention to in my memory.
Yeah. I was on a whole podcast about it, but it was like silly. Definitely check it out on RHAP. We ranked US Survivor merge names. But yeah, okay. So now, upgraded camp, upgraded name, upgraded color. I am partial to blues. That is my favorite color. We have it on right now. Versus, I think, the like very ugly orange. But maybe that has something to do with where I went to school. Who knows? So they get a chicken coop. They get a lot of food. They get a bag of rice. And Chappie said, great, we are upgraded at camp, which now means I need to upgrade my life, my game, my everything. And Chappie's, I feel like, is on a spiral now.
I feel the opposite.
Ooh.
I am loving this version of Chappie's. He has such confidence. He knows he has a foot in the game and can make moves. He can build relationships. His number one ally, Santini, is back. And because of his wine experience earlier in the day, he is walking around with no worries. And this is the first time in the game he's lowered his guard because of the wine. I feel that happens to me. You're not as
very similar.
Protective of what you're saying, and he's just letting it fly. And I love it. I feel while he's acting this way, the rest of the tribe is seeing him as just like crazy Chappies. They don't think he's being serious. They've already counted him out. And so he's playing with house money.
Yeah, 100%. That I agree with very much. Like I said, I like to watch it. I just if I'm on his alliance, I'm like, good Lord, man, take a chill pill. But at this point, I think they're kind of cutting him out of strategy and being like, just here's what's happening. Like, shut up and listen. Which whatever at this point. So let's get into like Chappie's like circus edit now. Which again, I loved. I watch Survivor not just for, the like strategic game bot play. Like I like this kind of stuff. So let's talk about Anila and Sean's like scavenger hunt that they have decided to plan for Chappie's, Jason.
I realized in this episode why Anela got cast on the show. This
Yes.
is the fun-loving, goofy guy that is there to have fun and play the game. Unlike the last few episodes when he's been on the defense, he is now on the offense looking for fun. And did he have fun? Him and Sean wrapping up this plan, tricking Chappie's. And at first, Chappie's, was like, oh, well, where did you find that clue? And Sean says, in the box. Chappie's is like, well, what box? Where did you find it? And I'm like, oh, Sean's getting busted. I didn't think Chappie's was going to believe it at first.
Yeah,
but Chappie's did. It was a good play. And that was there for fun and could see Chappie's as the target. And it reminded me of Survivor Millennials Gen X when David Wright planted that idol for Jay to find, knowing Jay was the player who would look for it and that it would end up burning him. But it didn't burn Chappie's.
Exactly. I think it was really interesting because I don't know that Anila was wanting it to be Chappie's necessarily. I think when Sean kind of, for us, felt like immediately told Chappie's, I thought that when Sean was kind of saying, hey, here's what's going on, or like, hey, here's what we're gonna do. So I was like, no, Sean, shut up. Like, let us have fun with this. And then the fact that Chappie's was the target, I think it was perfect because of his antics at the merge. And then just so everyone know, like, just a refresher that Anela did get those scavenger hunt chits at his last visit to Immunity Island. So he like planted one, they gave the first one to Chappie's where it says the shelter will show the way, and then Anila smartly puts it under the shelter. Can you talk about Chappie's going from the other side into the shelter, Jason?
From the back. This shows us that Chappie's is a fan. We have seen Tony Vlachos do this in Survivor history, hide behind the beach or hide behind the camp. But Chappie's isn't as slick as Tony because Amy caught him, Marisha caught him.
Yeah, Marisha came out and drags him. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, does everyone see this dude as like just underneath our whole shelter? But seems like he does get the clue, and he's like, oh, I'm just patching it up. I'm just putting banana leaves on it. And it's like, no, you got caught. Like, you're screwed. Or coconut leaves, sorry, on it to like whatever help the tribe against the rain. No, Chappie, no. And you'd think like the alcohol is off by now. And then after the shelter, I think he gets the sign is the key or something where so he gets something at the tribal torches, he picks that up, and then he gets the sign as the key. But I want to say, because I thought Anila has definitely scoped all these places out to make sure that there isn't anything real there. Is that smart, Jason?
Yes. And I do want to credit Sean with having this idea that he told Anela, there's a new sign, the idol might be there. So credit Sean above Anela for that decision because they very casually looked because the sign is the key and they fed Chappie's everything he wanted to eat. I can't even think of a way to describe it because we saw 3 other times later in this episode, Chappie's still looking under that sign.
Yeah.
He bought it hook, line, and sinker.
Yes. He was in a lot of background
I'm
where
so glad
I
you
saw
saw
him
that too.
digging and I was like, girl, stop. Which was so like sad. I was like, Chappie's not there. Poor Chappie's. But yeah, like I said, I think it was really great. I don't know how no one saw Anela putting like things under the shelter. At least everything else I can get, like he kind of casually drops things, totally makes sense, but I didn't understand how he got it in such a good place under the shelter. But whatever, I guess it's fine. And then it was a great segment. I loved it. I think this helps us kind of see, Chappie's Vlacos is what he's trying to be.
Mhm.
And then after that, we get a Rainier is talking to Anella, and now shows Anella his immunity idol, and Sean is also there. So now it's Sean, Rainier, and Anella, talking about immunity idol, and then Anella shares with them the tribal insurance, and now things are starting to go in motion where Zamba 1.0, just so the listeners know, like it's basically now split up old Vuna and old Zamba. Like there's no any of those tribe switches doesn't matter basically. And then Varda or Chappies, it doesn't matter who. The reason they're so confident is because of Anella's tribal insurance, where that he won at Immunity Island, which takes away 2 votes, right, Jason? Not just 1. Or am I wrong that it only takes 1 vote?
I think it only takes 1 vote.
Got it. So yeah, so it takes away one person's vote, which is why Anila's no vote is okay because now they're down a number. Old Vuna is. So they want Varda and Chappies out. Tyson is ready to make some Tyson's chicken nuggets because we get something from him about wanting to kill the chickens as soon as people are annoyed by them. And then here we go. Buckle up, people. Tyson is concerned about Santini outing the idol, and then cut to Santini.
So first,
yes.
Santini tells Chappies.
Yes.
Which I understood because they have been working together for a long time. And we get this great confession from Chappies being like, when Santini whispers in my ears, I'm smiling from ear to ear, looking like a giddy schoolgirl. And it was, like I've said earlier, I love this version of Chappies.
Yeah.
But then we see Santini telling someone else, which really surprised me because she's telling Sean about Tyson's idol. Why Sean?
Oh my God. I wrote this in all caps. Like Santini tells Sean why, what's going on. And then, she gives a reason. Oh, I'm the reason he found it, la, 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 whatever. Santini, your team is old Vuna. Like, but I do again am frustrated, and this is something for all future Survivor players. Like, you need to check in with your people, even if you're annoyed by them. Like, you need to get them in. You need to kind of keep them, like stick to the plan or tell them the plan, because then they're gonna go and do this. And then, of course, this leads to the wildest game of telephone we have seen, where Sean and Anisu are talking. Jason, did you know that this was still a connection?
I had no idea that they were so close.
Yeah.
And both of these scenes of Santini telling Sean and now Sean telling Anesu indicated to me how great of a game Sean is playing.
Yes.
People trust Sean. He has built strong relationships where people open up to him. And we saw that throughout this episode because everyone is talking to Sean. And spoiler alert, he's been added to the list. I think his chance to win this game is dramatically increased. But he was spilling his beans to Anesu, saying both tribes or both sides have an idol. And one of them has an advantage. And it gives them an extra vote. And I'm like, Sean, what are you doing?
Yeah, I agree with you. This is basically what seals the deal, because Anisu is so smart and does not share much about her. She was just like, oh wow, that's what's going on. Oh, I didn't realize this. Well, I'm with you. So again, Anisu really needs some kudos as well, because I think Anisu did a lot of groundwork with Sean to get the info, and then I think Anisu kind of figures out, okay, so this is what Anella is gonna do, and this is what he's gonna kind of figure out. So great, now that'll help us come with our plan.
And Sean also revealed his alliance to Anesu by naming every single one of them and how they are so close, they will not turn against each other. And Anesu, she had to be thinking, well, you're in their group too. If they won't turn on each other, you're not going to.
Exactly. And that's where I didn't understand it, because Sean, everything else, even later when he actually clocks the plan. Yeah. But this was, I think, a big unfortunate misstep for him, which again, puts everything in motion, which might have been in motion regardless, but I think just them knowing about the tribal insurance is what sealed everything. So then Marisha again wants Varda out and tell, Anila, and of course Anila is like, I'm ready, let's freaking do it. Anila, I was like, don't have to tell me twice. And then Sean tells Anila, I think, about the idol as well, which, Sean.
But Anela, hearing this, was really showing us his ego. Because he's talking about how it's Warda, it's Chappies, it's Santony. Then it'll be just R6. It'll be a game within a game. And I'm like, dude, you're not going to get to the final 6. It's not going to be your 6. Play the game. Make moves.
Or like, don't, the moment you take your foot off the gas, it's a wrap for you. And that's what happened where, and then Santony, okay. Yeah. So that's what happened. And that kind of wraps up that moment. Now we're back to Santony. Jason, I need to know, is your heart like here? Like, what's going on with our girl?
So Santony is playing the best game, I think. She's pulled the wool over all of our faces. Because earlier in this episode, we see Marisha be like, Santony, you have 4 votes to go.
Yep.
But just now, we see Santony telling Marisha, Tyson has the idol. And she's not telling secrets because he didn't tell her the secret. She was there. She can do whatever she wants with this information.
Yeah.
And I am beating my pounding my table. What are you doing? This is the wrong move. You can't trust her. Because then Santony says, I'm a free agent. Yeah. You can trust me. And this is when I paused the screen and was like, this has been Santony's plan all along. She has gotten Marisha to that point where she's most vulnerable, and Marisha is going to tell her the plan. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, because Marisha tells her, she's like, I'll keep you around for a few extra days, basically, and very much kind of divulges everything, which, again, I really want to know from Santony, like, was this her plan? As in, she did want to play the outside game, or is it that, she did it. She wanted to kind of fit in somewhere, but thankfully Tyson, after Chicken Gate, does end up telling her the plan, and then she immediately gets on board, with the right plan, basically. So I don't know. So that's where I'm kind of going back and forth on, I will say.
And my fan fiction has maybe Santony was doing this, then her and Chappies were going to identify another target.
Got it.
Instead of voting out Marisha, it would be maybe the target was on Rainier or someone like that, and they were trying to suss it out the situation.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. She's smarter than what happened here is what I want to say. So that's why I just have questions more than I do answers. And then comes Chicken Gate, which is what I feel like put Marisha as the target. I don't know. But they have started. We get a what is it? Ty, Ty 2.0 in Anisu, where Anisu says, they need to get their steps in. It's quarantine. They've been stuck in their little house. So they're trying to get their steps in. They're walking around, and then the rope breaks on one of the chickens.
This was a great scene.
Yes.
I enjoyed seeing Anesu, the animal lover. I wanted to hear what she named the chickens, because we usually hear about that. Ty's chicken was named Mark.
Mark, yeah.
And we see them all chasing the chickens. I thought it was really fun-loving until Marisha blamed Anesu. And like you had said, that was the ammunition that Anesu needed to paint a bigger target on Marisha's back.
Yeah, because I'm assuming they still would have picked someone that wasn't in the spotlight in this anyway. But I think this kind of told Anisu, hey, even if I thought I was working with them, I'm absolutely not, because look at her. She's whispering sweet nothings to me, but out in public, she not claiming me, right? You don't want... People, do not ever be in a relationship like this. But honestly, right, Anisu's so smart. She's like, oh, you so quick to throw me under the bus? I got you. I got your ticket. So again, underestimated Anisu, Tyson, and Kieran, basically, is what I feel like happened. And Santony, sorry. Those 4, I feel like, were really underestimated, and you got screwed. And then, yes, so Anisu and Varda talk, and Anisu shares, hey, here's what happened. Here's my take. And Varda and Anisu, we know each other, and Varda is going to trust Anisu 100%, period, doesn't matter. And then Chappies is now talking about needing to win immunity. And then Anisu I want to know your thoughts, Jason, because Anisu says, I want Chappies to win immunity. And then I want him to send me to Immunity Island, where I'm going to bequeath my idol to save another person. I need to know what your thoughts are here.
This shows us that Anesu is the architect of this plan that Kieran implemented later on in the game. She is thinking 4 steps ahead of everyone else. I missed it the first time I watched it and had to rewind a few minutes to say, what is the plan she is hatching? And it worked better than she could have ever hoped, I feel.
That's exactly how I feel. Where I feel like Kieran, even on Twitter, Kieran and Tyson were getting all the kudos, which they deserve their kudos. But I think Anisu was a big part of this, and you and I actually have said this before about Anisu, where when who got voted out? Theriso got voted out. We said if Anisu would have been at camp, we think things would have been different, and Tyson wouldn't have gotten mad at Theriso and voted her out. So I do think that, again, Anisu is that, calm person that kind of grounds this squad.
And everybody compliments Anisu for being this social queen. And that is her greatest attribute. But I think in this episode, we saw that she is also a strategist. She's not just there to make friends. She's there to stab people in the back and make moves.
Yep. And then, so while Anisu and Varda are kind of figuring out their plan, the exact opposite is happening, where Marisha and Rainier, which I think are the top 2 in Zamba. They're very much like the mastermind. Everyone else kind of defaults to them. Sean, I think, is a strong number 3, but I don't know that they see it that way. But anyway, Marisha and Rainier are talking about Tyson's idol. We got to get Varda out because we like her so much.
This was probably the most surprising thing I heard in the whole episode.
Yeah.
Because we have heard reasons for voting Varda out. Negatively reasons. She's not good at this. She's not good at that. She can't cook. And now we want to vote her out because we like her so much.
Yes.
And I was just really surprised because I felt Rainier was going to identify her as a goat they could bring to the end, thinking people don't like her.
Yeah. I agree with you, actually. That's why I made a note of saying, like, why do they say they like her so much? Because technically Smash or Anella doesn't like her, right? So it's already, Chappies and her have fought. I know everyone knows about it. So that's why I don't think that was the right reasoning, but I do think Varda and Chappies did make sense because Varda really cripples, the foursome of Kieran, Tyson, Anisu, and Varda. So taking Varda out and taking Chappies out hurts Antony. So
and Rainier also shared part of the plan, keep the 3 girls, keep the 3 guys, and we'll tell Anesu it's 7. Exactly. And that really aggravated me that they have this 6 and they think they can play her thinking she's number 7 in the totem pole of their alliance. Have they met her? Yeah. The social queen is not going to believe this.
Can I also say I'm not trying to make it about race, but the racial makeup of these 2 alliances is fascinating, where we have a majority of people of color on one side and then, and only one, I think, on the other side. Again, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, everyone. But I'm pretty sure Smash is the only person of color on the other side. So I was just like, oh my God, this is also stressful. And I don't like how, they're underestimating, I feel like the people of color I just wanted to note that. I don't think that's the only reason, but I do think, again, like we saw with Carla, implicit biases definitely, come into play. So, okay, now I think we can finally exhale because, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to put on my seatbelt because the next part we're going to talk about is full speed ahead.
Oh, yeah, but I just feel like now our faves are getting it together is what I mean. Where our faves, we're like, oh, thank God, they're all talking to each other.
There's so much that I'm calling them the Silent 6 because we're silent podcasts and they're the 6 people we're cheering for the most.
Period. I would say it's not even fair at this point. That is a crew. I tweeted this, but we're Vuna 1.0 stan account. Don't add us because I don't want to hear it anymore. Rainier and Sean, we like them, but please. absolutely not.
Shout out Amy. I like her too.
Oh yeah, sorry, Amy too. But I feel like Amy just again, I don't like the three blondes. Like just they're very mean, I feel. Anyway, we're back. Okay. Tyson has finally shared with Santini, and I'm just clapping, happy, joyful because Santini, I feel like it was like a 2-second conversation where Tyson says, "Listen, everyone knows about my idol," and our girl goes, "Really? How? I wonder why." Shut up, girl. Stop it. But I loved it. And then but Tyson, growth, because he lets it go. He doesn't say nothing. He doesn't try to drag. But he says, listen, so we're all going to work together and I'm going to play my idol for an alliance member and we're going to do the right thing. What, Jason, like, I feel like Tyson is growing in front of our eyes.
I agree. I feel he is not holding it against Santini because they're at the point in the game where every vote counts.
Yes.
They cannot have another argument.
And no, and even moving forward, they can't. Yeah.
I see his winner potential. He said, I am in it to win it. And even though I'm playing the idol for someone else, it benefits my game and gets me farther. And it shows that he's able to put personal beef aside to get his group to the next stage. And I think with his leadership, he's going to hold them tight. He also is the youngest person on the cast. And I just want to mention that to show his maturity with all these other people.
Yeah, I very much agree with you where I feel like because he's pretty risky. And that I think is maybe because of his age, but the calculated risks that he takes, and he's, knock on wood, almost always gotten a reward, right, from his risk. He's gotten the idols. He's, Immunity Island worked in his favor. So I really feel like his risks have always paid off. So his alliance really sees him as like a, risk decision taker. Like there's like, if I want to make a risky move, I'm going to Tyson over Anisu, I will say. And then I appreciate them saying here, we are going to say that Nicole is our target and we cannot let Marisha's name ever come out. How amazing is this group that I never heard that name again?
This was, as they described, the defining moment of the game. They had a plan, they all agreed to it, and they did not waver from that plan.
It was flawless. I'm sorry, like I don't, it's like hyperbole, but like it's amazing what they were able to pull off. And like this is one of, I think, my favorite Survivor moments to where I was like, I want to buy this merge buff because like I want to remember this. Like it is so amazing that they were able to do this.
And we also hear Tyson then saying how Santini is such an asset to his game, to their alliance, because the other alliance trusts her so much. And that's what's going to help them execute this plan. And as soon as he says that's cut to Sean, word vomiting to Santini, here's what we're going to do. We're going to, Sean, it tells her that they're going to steal Chappie's vote. And Santini's like, oh, okay. Like, I got it. I'm just going to vote Chappie's. Like, don't. First of all, how dumb are you? She has been working with Chappie's and Sean has seen this. So is Amy, who was there.
Right. And again, stupid. And then, Santini says, just so you know, they're all going to vote Nicole. Silly.
At least they didn't believe Santini.
No, I don't think so. I think they were just like, oh, Nicole's name is out, sure, like whatever. But like, and I think Nicole because of that knew about it, but I don't think they like gave much mind to it. And then Santini, said, and then now we're at, I feel like it's the fun Tony Blasho's time almost.
Well, before we get to there, did you hear when Sean was talking about Tyson and how he has Karen and that he has Anesu and that he was suggesting putting votes on Tyson?
Yes. And that's when I was like, oh my God. No.
It was another example to me that like Sean is a gamer. He is making moves and thinking what is in the best interest of the people he's playing against.
100. That's what I'm saying. And here's again, maybe we should wait for this later, but like, do you think that they're going to listen to Sean more? Sean and Amy moving forward, right? I don't think so, but They should if they want to do what's best for them. But it's okay. Y'all do you, boo. And then Warda, we're at the watering well, and then Santini, is talking about, listen, like, I can prolong this a little bit. Like, please, Warda, you need to trust me. They're putting incredible trust into each other at this point because none of them like each other, but they're like very much like, okay, I need you to trust me. I think we can do this. Which, Jason, like, could you do it? Could you trust? Like, if you were Warda, could you trust these people?
Yes.
Got
because
it.
earlier in this episode, we saw after the last tribal, Santini complimenting Warda, saying,
right.
You were right. You were spot on. It is Anella's ego. And I think that conversation, we saw the reward for it in this conversation at the water well.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and Chappies, I think, also does a really good job of saying, I just want you to know, like, what I said at the merge was real. Like, I do want to reset with you. I do want to work with you. I think Varda was like, like, for now, I think it's fine. I will work with him, which that's exactly what you should do. Play one by one and you'll be fine. And then we get to our Chappies, Vlaco's moment. Jason, please tell us everything.
Well, he looks over during this conversation into this tree he's walked past 100 times and says, oh, that could be a spy shack. Maybe it's a spy nest. And he hurtles into the tree saying, no one will see me. But then what happens? People start walking up. He can see them, but they can't see him. Or can they? I thought he was going to get caught. What did you think?
Too. So again, the music that we've got from Chappies, I'm like, sir, you about to get caught. Like, this is not going to be good at all. What are you doing? But turns out, like, our boy is not getting caught. And like, we see him at least twice, right? In the spy shack. He hears Anella telling Santini about the advantage, which again, if he didn't know before, he does now. So Spy Shack, +1 right now.
And this reminded me of the first version of the Spy Shack we see in Survivor Cagayan when Tony's hiding and he has Trish bring people over to the water well strategically to expose their game. And Santini wasn't doing that. This was just organic. It really was the best gift Survivor could have given him because it has given him this delusional confidence now that he can hide in the bushes and he will be a step ahead. And I feel it's going to make him play more reckless, which I am here for.
Very much agree with that as well. Like I said, I loved it. I think it's very much how we should be moving forward. So I'm excited to see Spy Shack again because, spoiler alert, Chappie does make it. So let's get to our immunity challenge, which we called it. You called the toes, the zoom in on feet. I thought about you when that happened. But anyway, we get talking about false confidence. Chappies wants to win, Jason, 7 of immunity challenges. I did not do the math, and I apologize, everyone. But how many are left to play? Are there 7?
I think there's 9.
Oh, my God. So our friend wants to win 7 out of 9.
He just wants to set the record for winning most individual immunities. That's what I thought of because I'm pretty sure the record is 6. So he wants to get that 7th one.
I love it. We also have a comment, which I think is hilarious, where they say they're currently watching the podcast from the Spy Shack. It's like, I think missed opportunity on Jason and my part that we didn't start from our Spy Shack, but you know what? It's okay. Thank you for reminding us. Hope don't get caught in your Spy Shack, please. Yes. And then I will say, I really like the necklace again. I think it's cute. I thought it's basic, but it's cute.
I didn't like it.
Ooh, tell me more.
We've seen such excellent.
Oh, true.
The tribal immunity, the voting urn. These things have the skulls. They have the snakes. I was thinking, what's going to be in this, individual immunity necklace? And it's blue with a little torch.
Yeah,
it's very basic, but as I'm saying this, maybe it's blue because of the merged tribe color being blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is. I think it's similar color. I will say the paint job I did not like. I am an art 0. It's the thing I failed in school at all times. So I'm not here to criticize anyone's art. Just want to make that clear, people. But anyway, I wanted some snakes at least, or a skull, something. I agree with you on that, but I still think it was cute but basic. And then yeah, it's the basic pole hugging challenge where some people, I will say, ended up at the super top, and those people ended up staying the longest versus folks that maybe couldn't make it all the way up. Like, what did you think about the challenge before we get into the details?
Well, and that is, I think, a direct indication of their strength. They're able
Yes.
to climb to the top of it. So, of course, they're going to last longer. I was happy to see this classic Survivor challenge back. We've seen it time and time again throughout Survivor history, and it's really hard.
Yeah, I agree with you. I couldn't do it. I have zero upper body strength. Like, there was no way that was happening for me. And then, yeah. And then
I was gonna say, I think I could do it. I don't think I could last 3 hours. I could probably last 30 minutes.
Yes.
Every time, Chappies, we have poker faces, not very good. We're not.
No, 100%. Oh my God. Also, what? Tell us more.
This is the real Chappies. We appreciate you watching. We're here for you.
Oh my God. No, we would have been voted out. It would have been a hot mess. Like, there's a reason why Jason and I together, we worked together, and it was a hot mess. Like, the amount of professional development, professional reviews we've gotten about, like, please fix your face when you're mad at people. It's very obvious.
But it makes this podcast on video so much better than if it was just on audio.
On audio, people will be like, why are there just quiet, like, pauses? And it's like, no, because we're making weird faces.
I think whether the strategy was on purpose or not, Santini did the best in this challenge because I feel she approached this knowing she wasn't going to win. So why be up there for an hour? I want to be the first person out so I can relax and rest, recover, instead of straining myself for 2.5 hours knowing I'm not going to win. And so I just want to compliment her and Sean, I think, who came out second, who probably had that strategy because even though Sean is so strong, I don't think he could have made it to the end.
No. I don't think so. Yeah, because I agree with you, especially, again, I don't know if these people are clocking it yet. Let us know if you are. Do y'all know that they're all talking during challenges? Because if I'm Santini, I was like, no, I need my, like, everything. My senses need to be heightened because I need to hear what the heck these people are talking about.
And that's a strategy we see Marisha using challenge after challenge. And I want to give her a shout out for doing that because very rarely in Survivor history do people do it not just once, but a second and third time with no one seeing it.
Yes, exactly. Don't know how, but it's fine. So yeah, Santini's out, then Anila, then Marisha, Amy, Sean. Rainier says a weird thing about wearing underwear. It's like, why? Thank you for that. And then once Rainier drops, I was like, thank you, God. We are winning. Our team is okay. Someone from our team is winning, so
Well, Nicole was still there.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I was like,
I thought she was going to win, maybe. I thought she could go the distance.
I thought Anisu was going to win because as soon as Anisu said, I visualized it, one. And then secondly, we know that the edit tells us kind of what's happening. So I was like, Anisu winning by Nicole.
Did you hear Nicole react, though? Saying, well, I visualized me winning.
Yeah. We know Nicole does not like this stuff.
I like the feistiness that Nicole's bringing.
Of course. Oh my God. I think that's what I would say. And again, I would get in trouble because I would be dragging people. Mm-hmm. And then Jason, we get your favorite toe zoom in for Chappie. His toe is bleeding. Why do they need to show this?
They want to make us feel like we're really there. Yeah, we are hanging up on that pole for dear life in pain.
Me not need that.
I wish they would have shown us the Band-Aid they would have given him when the challenge was over to help his wound heal, but that's neither here nor there. I want to, even though we mentioned Marisha earlier having this chatter on the ground, I was really surprised. She was telling Warda what her plan is.
No,
of all people, reckless. I didn't understand that.
No, it's being reckless, right? I think when you're so ahead and in your mind and you think that you're so, like, this is what's happening. We're moving forward, like, gung-ho, y'all. Sorry about it. Like, I think you get messy and you make these mistakes. It was not necessary at all. But I was also wondering if she felt bad and she wanted maybe Warda to not be blindsided. But anyway, speaking of talking. Kieran, Anisu, and everyone else falls out, whatever. Kieran, Anisu, and Tyson are now up. And so I'm like, yes, this is exactly who needs to win because they're I feel like gonna make the smartest choice. They're at the 3-hour mark, which what the hell?
I just was going to say, I was getting Big Brother vibes watching this.
Yes.
We never see people making deals in the end of a challenge because they're all right there. Everyone could hear Kieran
Another thing,
and Esther saying, Tyson, drop. We're going to send you to Immunity Island.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. To me, I don't understand how no one is clocking this. Like, they're not whispering. Like, I know they have mics on, but they're not whispering. Like, we know what they're saying. So another reason why I need to ask, like, I want to know from the survivors if, like, you know, is it that you don't care, you know, or you're just like, yeah, I know this is happening, whatever.
I also want to compliment Tyson and Kieran for both breaking the record for the longest a man has participated in this challenge.
Yes.
And so they both beat the time of Ozzy, who had did this in one of his 3 or 4 times playing. I've seen some controversial reports on Twitter this week about was Ozzy the longest or was it really Brooke in Survivor Australia season 1? I saw online saying that she did this for 7 hours.
Oh, absolutely not.
And I don't know if that's true, but I'm a big Brooke stan, so I believe she could do it. But I was under the impression that Ozzy had the record.
Yeah, at 7 hours at this point, I'm like, please, just let's cut a deal. But again, that's a Big Brother like fan in me. We all know I'm a Survivor casual Big Brother fan, so I don't know. I'd be like, let's cut some deal. Send me to Immunity. I'll do what you want. Like I can't do it. And then I felt like this was beautiful, where Kieran actually says, "I have a plan. Here's what's going on." And then Kieran tells Anisu, "Fine, you can win. Just this is what you need to do, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't mess that up for us." But Anisu, I think while they started to talk, Anisu, I think pretty immediately right after that falls at 3.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And Kieran wins immunity, which is amazing. I'm always going to root for anyone Indian. So here we go, Kieran. You deserve your flowers, man.
And then after Kieran wins, to no surprise, he sends Tyson to Immunity Island.
Yep.
I was very surprised we didn't hear a confession from someone calling them out, saying we know they're working together, and how angry they were that he sent Tyson to Immunity Island. And it just seemed to me that everyone was okay with that, which really surprised me.
Yeah, another thing where I wish they would have shown us a little bit more deliberation, or maybe there really wasn't any deliberation, is it that does the winner get to pick and that's it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's messy.
And
I
can't be
love
themselves.
it. Yeah, of course. Well, they already have immunity, so thankfully that's fine. Anyway, the plan is now in motion, people. The train has left the station. So Varda just says, it's good Chappie's lost, because this way people still think he's an easy vote, which I very much agree with. I was like, Chappie's cannot win, because if Chappie's wins, who are they gonna, what's gonna happen? It's too many moving pieces. And Nico actually says you can blame them for staying up so long. That cuts into your deliberation time. Have you ever heard that before?
No, I was happy he said that.
Yeah, I was like, no, we needed that. We need the little, smaller deliberations, so everyone can shut the hell up and keep it going and not make no extra moves. Don't be crazy. Don't do nothing. And then Sean and Varda chat. And again, Sean tells Varda it's Chappie's, which I know is an easy vote. Jason, you were on Zamba 1.0. Tell me how you're feeling. It's really easy. Are you stressed that it's so easy?
I would be.
Yeah.
We hear later on that Amy is the one who says this is too good to be true. But why didn't Sean say that? He's talking to Warda. He's talking to Santini, who works with Chappies. Why would Santini be so okay with voting out her, what looks like number one ally? That should be a red flag to the Zamba OGs that something is going on.
Exactly. And then we get, Tyson, I think Anisu tells Rainier that Tyson wanted to go to immunity. So this is giving Anisu, again, more cred with Zamba 1.0, because she's kind of telling him, again, need to know basis, things that are going to come out anyway. So we don't care if they know. So again, she's just so smart with the information that she gives. So
Mhm.
she tells, you know, Rainier, hey, this is what's going to happen. Rainier automatically trusts her now and thinks that she's on their side. Tyson, you know, whatever. Anisu and Santini are now like, we got to play dumb. Like, I think they're all in the group together.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we're on the outs. You know, we want to stay on the outs. And then I feel like this is where Anisu is thinking the long game, because she says, I have to vote Chappies out, not because I want to, but because this is going to mess up my long game with them, because they're not going to trust me anymore and they're not going to keep fueling info, which might screw me.
I was so impressed with this decision that she made and was able to execute this plan flawlessly.
Yes.
They bought it. They believed her. And Rainier, as we see later on, is adamant that she is with them.
Exactly. Because again, she gave up info that he should have known that is going to come out anyway. So what does it matter? And this is how you have to play Survivor, where you have to be okay with leaking, quote unquote, some info of your plan so that it looks like you don't have a plan, if that makes sense. So it's just brilliant. And then we get our friend Chappies again at the damn spy nest. I love that they showed us that again. I feel like it was a nice pause from like this, like, I don't know, like wild roller coaster that we were on. The thing that I'm scared about, Jason, is that we hear from Chappie that he says, at least I get to hear some words. Do you think hearing some words will like get him in trouble?
I had the exact same thought. I feel he's going to hear something, hear one plan and think it's another plan.
Exactly.
And then put a target on someone based on false information. And that could be what makes his game start spiraling.
Yes. Oh my God. That's exactly how I feel about this. So, yeah, that's why I was a little stressed, where I was like, I can see like him hearing some words, telling our friend Santini something, and then it might get a little bit more spiral, to like just not the way we want to go. So please, Chappies, just Vuna together, please. Vuna needs to stay strong. And then Kieran, another guy, where we see him with the other team now, where Kieran is now trying to just be chill and say, you know, got it. So we're going to have 3 votes on Varda. The rest of us are going to vote on Chappies. And again, he's playing up, Chappies is a hot mess. And we see Chappies in the background.
Looking for the idol. He is still there digging every time they see him. I love that he is so persistent and he knows an idol is there. He must have dug 20 feet. They could have built an underground shelter much as he
oh
was
my God, that's
for the
exactly
idol.
what I was saying. I was like, he could have gone to another country through that tunnel. But I will say, is Chappies like playing it up that he knows he's going home? So he has to like try to, you know, last ditch effort. Oh, I don't have anything else to do. I gotta, you know, find an idol.
I'm surprised he didn't look elsewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe he tried and they followed him. So he knew the safest place to look was under the sign.
Yeah.
I was want to compliment Kieran for this scene, because this was the first time we saw him talking with the OG Zombas in this episode. We saw a few episodes ago when he built this plan with them. They threw votes on him. We thought maybe he was with them and he was following their lead. And he went right back into that Kieran in this episode.
Yes.
Saying, yes, that's a great plan. And I think maybe they thought they had Kieran in their pocket as well.
Yeah, no, they definitely thought they did. Because like I said, them and Chappies don't get along, allegedly. So why the heck would they want to save him? If it was anyone else, it would have been really hard, right? So I agree with you. So again, Kieran, like I said, every single person played the right role, and that is the only reason why this plan was able to happen. And then, you know, Anila, they tell him, well, Anila's gonna steal Chappie's vote. Why y'all gonna just shut up? You don't need to share so much. Just give enough info to say one of your votes is gonna be stolen. We're sorry ahead of time, right? Oh my God.
And we hear Marisha say, stick to the plan, which is classic.
Yeah. Great. Chappies, I appreciate that, because that's exactly what I needed to know, that like, were you doing this to get the attention? And thank God that is what you were doing, because I agree. I think that's exactly what should have been done to get the attention.
Yeah. Say that Amy is the person who said this is too good to be true. We know she's there to play. She is a lawyer.
Yes.
She is noticing things that other people aren't, and I want to see her be more vocal with her decisions.
Yep.
She should have spoken louder and said, "No, Rainier, this is too easy. Let's split the votes. Let's do something else." And I was just so surprised that she took the back seat and let Rainier and Marisha drive this plan.
Yeah, I very much agree with you. Where I think, like, Chappie's just told us that he looked desperate, which equaled almost, like everyone else to kind of not feel as desperate to like be like maybe they do have another plan. Because I agree with you, Amy clocks it to say, "Do you see Santini?"
And
No,
Anesu talking.
Anesu, yes, talking. So something's going on here. They're talking to the other crew. Think about it, everyone. Please think about it. And then we see, but then immediately Anella shuts it down. Sean actually lays out the whole plan to say, "Hello, do you realize that, that they might like give Tyson Tyson might give Chappies the idol, and then the other idol will get, given." But anyway, sorry, I know that happens a little later, but I also want to note that. And then Marisha actually, we know now what's going on. 4 votes minus Santini and Anisu, I believe, are going to go to Marisha, and then Tyson's idol, they're never going to see it coming. And then Kieran also hopes that Tyson doesn't stay the night and does come back. So this is where it gets a little stressful, where they're like, "We love Tyson and we trust him, but we also know what he's doing and that he's playing for himself." And again, I thought that was really smart of Kieran to say that. So then at Immunity Island, Jason, like, were you a little stressed?
I was very stressed.
Yes.
We see Tyson walking up, and I don't know. I watched the episode twice, so I only noticed it on the second time. The puzzle that Tyson, if he chose to stay and play, would have had to complete.
Yes.
And I first thought it was the tree puzzle, but we hear Tyson call it the fire puzzle, which they build a fire from the bottom up, and that's very difficult. It's very hard to do that without the sand ticking by you.
And they just lost that one, right? I think Tyson was on the team that lost this like building up challenge anyway. So Tyson, thank God.
He made the right decision. He 100%. Had a plan walking in. He was going to leave. He was going to bequeath the idol. And this is when I was hearing the music on the radio. This is the plan. Yep. I was singing along. I'm loving it. Our favorites are making the right moves.
Thank God. Because I feel like, again, we never get fed like this. I feel like our favorites are always like, "Oh, damn it. Like, why did you do this?" Or like, "At least you tried, shucks" moment. And then Tyson does, again, which is why I like Tyson as a player. I want to make that clear, where he says, "I'm not going to play because I want to make it look like I'm pulling the strings. I want that on my resume, and it'll look great on me if I do this." Yeah. So, which is fine. I think it's okay to be selfish if you're smart about it. So 100%, I think Tyson did the right thing. And then Tyson is back early, and everyone's like, "Why'd you come back so early? What happened, Tyson? What happened?"
They did ask him if he's going to bequeath the idol.
Yep.
And I saw a non-answer. He just kind of was eating.
He was like, "Yeah, sure." And then he nods, but he doesn't really like say much more. He doesn't say who or what, which I think is very smart. Because again, that could, I think, really you don't need to give more info. Just say, "Yep, I'm gonna do it," and that's it.
And this is when we hear Rainier talking so confidently that Anesu is with them.
Oh, and this is where it goes to hell.
It shows Rainier's ego. And then we also see Smash's ego, who was so overconfident, thinking there was no chance. Not only does Tyson have an idol, but that he would bequeath an idol to Chappies.
Yeah, they hate Chappies. There's no way. So I will say Nicole does get a little bit into Rainier's head, right? Where she says, "Well, I am the target if somehow they do exactly what Sean just said, and Amy just said, if that happens, like, I'm the next target. So like, what should we do?" So Rainier, instead of saying, "I will play the idol on you," says, "Great, let's not split the votes. Let's just somehow make it a tie or whatever. And we'll just all put it on Chappies," which again, fascinating to do that.
And also fascinating, Nicole's reaction. that she was okay with this plan, because if I was in Nicole's shoes, I would have gone straight to Marisha and said, let's flip the votes. They're writing my name down and I want to be here tomorrow.
Exactly. I don't understand why she was okay with it. It makes absolutely no effing sense. I'm sorry. Like, actually splitting the votes would help you, Nicole, because then you can somehow get more votes on the other person or on Varda or, whatever. I don't know. But the point is, like, I think it was a mad dash to tribal. And I think Tyson probably came back max, an hour before tribal. I doubt he came back that much earlier, which is why he got screwed. They got screwed. Sorry, he is correct.
Something that stood out to me right before they go to council is when Marisha talks about she hopes they can save the idol for when they really need to save a life. And in that moment, I thought Marisha was going home because they were giving us this confession, talking about needing to save a life.
This is where I'm like, okay, I know Survivor does a pretty straightforward edit, but my God. And then I am very not stressed. I'm very baffled by their confidence, where they were like, no, we're just gonna stick to the plan. Everyone is saying, let's not be paranoid, let's do the right thing, but you're doing the wrong thing, my friends. But I guess it's fine. We're going to tribal now. Our friend Chappie's smiling a lot, where I was like, Chappie's, please stop smiling. This again would be us, where we would be like, it ain't me, bitch, it's you.
As it's later called, the malicious smile.
Yes. Which I think helped him. Because Sean, oh my God, Sean holds a grudge like no other, which I know happens a little later. There's other things that happen, but let's just talk about it, where Sean, says there's one person that comes to mind that's in the way of us kind of living our best life, and he's this guy.
I was so confused. Sean, I feel, is just looking for reasons to target 100%. Chappie. But this dessert thing, he told Warda what we swore to keep secret. So what? It's a game. Get over it. Say and not he's eating too much. He's annoying. Come up with real reasons.
Or just say he's looking for idols, and it's that's how many people have gotten sent home because they were looking for idols. Please. So that's one thing. And then I love how he says, I don't want to share what the wonderful dessert was. But Chappie's rubbed it in her face. Warda, again, there might be some truth to it. I'm not mad at it. But Warda shares, you know what? Your intent, again, might not have been this, but your impact really hurt my feelings. It might have hurt her feelings, but she's still voting with him, so shut up.
And then Sean reveals what dessert was. He spilled the beans. They should all have a grudge against him.
Yeah, but I was like, Sean, this is not your best move, I will say. And then I feel like Santony is us. Where's Santony? Look at this guy. Chappie's always getting in trouble. Just always.
Always putting your foot in your mouth.
I wish Santony could be my friend. Oh my God, because they're just so funny together. She just drags him, and Chappie just gives 0 Fs.
And if I was an OG Zamba member, seeing Santony react that way, the hairs on my arm would stand up. You would think something's up. Why is she so comfortable? No one laughs and make jokes like that at tribal council, especially at the merge vote.
When they are going to lose their allegedly closest ally, right? Because she knows that it's Chappie's. Like I said, it makes absolutely no sense. I felt like they should have been playing it up way more. Mm-hmm. Where to me, Chappie should have had his backpack on the whole time, being like, F these people. I know I'm out. At least I made it to the merge, da-da-da. So another moment where I was like, I don't think Zamba 1.0 read the room really well. And I know it's really hard when you're looking at Nico and you can't really see, we get to see all of them. So
I also want to acknowledge when Nico paused tribal council as the rain was starting and said, put your jackets on. We have never seen Jeff Probst do this.
Jeff would never. And this takes nothing away from the game, right? I know we've said this before, but I really appreciate Survivor South Africa just not letting them suffer. They're already suffering, don't get me wrong, but not letting them kind of become shells of themselves. It's not fun for me to watch. I don't need that.
I agree with you, and I think it's leading to this incredible season of strategic moves, of social players. These people are at their best. They're not a disheveled version of themselves on day 20.
Yes.
They are just as fueled to play the game and make moves as they were on day 1. And that's why I watch Survivor. I don't watch Survivor to see people struggling.
And it's not fun. Like, because I think you make stupid mistakes then instead of this like convoluted like plan. This is what I want to watch on Survivor, where I want to see you're all living together in these close quarters and you still have to figure it out somehow, some way. So Marisha does say at the start, like, you know, we are a happy family right now, but let's see. And then Nicole says, you know, there is definitely different energy here. But Marisha says, let's not lose our heads like I did last time. And let's just, you know, stick to the plan. And then we get Kieran's amazing, amazing quote. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. He played his part, Jason.
He did. At first, I was very confused about what he was talking about, and then I realized what he wanted the OG Zombas to hear him saying.
Exactly.
And we heard the message he intended, and it made them so confident that he was voting for Chappies.
100%. Like they were just like, oh great. So he, like Marisha especially, like as like, oh, these people have like realized that, you know, they should be grateful for the 2 days, 3 days that they have. And that's it. And that's kind of where they are. Oh, I'm so glad it's all working out. So I think it disarmed them even more. And then then the Sean thing happens.
And then now, Chappies says,
yeah,
I know it's me. I know I'm who they're talking about. And after me, they're going to target the next physical threats. And I loved that he named Anela, Rainier, and Sean as the next big threats.
Which is, again, to me, showed that he's trying to work with those 3, right? To be like, hey, guys, I want to work with the 3 of you. That's why I'm telling you that it's the 3 of you that will be in trouble. Let's all work together, I feel like. And then, so I really like that moment, too. And then it was Tyson's chance to give someone immunity. And he, of course, gives it to Warda, which I think everyone kind of figured, thankfully, so it wasn't a surprise for anyone.
But she acted surprised.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, please, chill. What? Little old me? Why? What did I do? I thought I was safe. And then now Anila gets up and he's like, I have time to take someone's vote. First of all, can we take a moment to laugh about how he explains his advantage? Like no one on that beach knew what was going on. I knew it was for us, but still, I thought it was funny.
I was more confused when he talked about how he knew it was going to be pretty epidemic tonight.
Oh, I thought it was academic.
Oh, I heard him say epidemic, and I was so confused about what he was talking about with this vote.
I thought he said the vote seems pretty academic tonight, so that's why I'm just gonna take Chappie's vote, which is like kick a man when he's down, man.
Makes way more sense than him talking about an epidemic.
Yeah, we are in one, but and maybe your ego is an epidemic. But we like Anila. I just want to make that clear. It's just like what a bummer. That you're with the other side. But yeah, he said the vote seems academic, I believe. So I'll just take Chappie's vote because and then I'm assuming this disarms Zamba, like old Zamba, Zamba 1.0. And then Vuna's like tick, 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 everything's in line, bitches. Cool. So this is where I really feel like they took an L by not splitting the vote, but thank God they didn't. Everything seems to be going according to plan. Is what Anila said. So I literally put in my notes, I just like, you know those random letters that you type? Like that's literally it. And it says, I'm so nervous. And then Chappie's looked like he was going to cry, I felt like.
Great acting.
Oh my God. But I'm sure a little bit of him was like, well, shit, if this doesn't work out, I'm screwed.
But then they all vote. Nico comes back with the votes. Tyson says,
no.
And you see Chappie's reaction. He's just like,
I know. Chappie's probably like, I'm sure his heart was already in his stomach, but I think it probably went to his like bleeding foot at that point. Because he was like, oh, thank God. He gave it to me.
As soon as Tyson starts walking up, I felt the panic.
Yeah. Thankfully, like they can't, to me, I was like, I know Survivor enough that I know you can't change your vote, but I was literally like, can they change their vote? No, right? Okay, cool. Because it was so, like A, B, C, D, every single thing has to fall in line for this to work out. So I was just like, they can't vote again, right? Okay, cool. There's only one extra idol. Got it. Like I'm doing the mental checklist in my head to make sure it goes right.
Well, and for a moment, while I was going through that mental checklist, I thought to myself, what if they cancel all the votes? And I thought it was actually going to be a re-vote because it would be 0-0.
Yes, that's what I was scared about. Yeah. So that's the only thing where I was like, if it goes 0-0, then it's done. Like, then Vuna 1.0 is one of them is going. Varda, no, not Varda. Chappies is gonna go home, or no, Chappies is safe then. So someone else, yeah, like Tyson might go home. Hell, for doing all these shenanigans. So Tyson or Kieran might. Oh no, yeah, it's Tyson. Tyson for sure would have gone home. Yeah, and then but Tyson plays his idol for Chappies, rightfully so, and then. The long pause.
Nicole says, play it for me. Play it for me. And I didn't think Rainier was going to.
No, because the long pause that was going on, Marisha, I feel like almost was like, you need to play this for Nicole. What are you doing? And I just put in my notes, like, Rainier gets bullied into playing it for Nicole, LOL. Because Rainier was like, who you're talking to? Wow, look at the sky. Wow, look at the fire. And then, Marisha, I think Marisha was going to just take it from him at some point.
And then once the idols played, Nico says, who are you playing it for?
The long pause.
That's what it sounded like. Crickets. Nothing. Everyone's looking around. And then Nicole says, me.
Did you think Rainier was going to say himself?
I did.
Oh my, because I was like, is he going to say himself? Because if I'm Rainier, I'm like, no one's safe now. We're all screwed.
I would have played it for myself.
Yeah, I think I would have played it for myself. There's no way in hell I'm risking that. For what? For Nicole? Marisha? Absolutely not. But anyway, Rainier, I think, does like kind of say, okay, you can say it. So he plays it for Nicole. Fine. So, and I'm just like, thank you, God. Like, thank you, Survivor gods, that everything worked out. Because again, we never get this. We never get our faves doing all the right things together. Like, oh my God. And then we get Chappies. The first one is no vote. Anella. Sorry about it. Then we get Chappies.
Does not count.
Chappies.
Does not count.
Chappies.
Does not count. None of them count.
None of them. We get 6 does not count. Suck it, Zamba. And then we get Marisha. 1 vote, Marisha. We get another 1 vote, 2 votes, Marisha. And Marisha's like, oh.
I think at this moment, Nicole has started crying.
Yes. Audibly, like gasping for air, crying, which I was like, oh no. Nicole. I mean, like, unfortunately, I feel sad as in like the guilt sucks, but like I don't feel sad because I remember what you said to Theresa.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think I forgot. And I remember what you just said to Santony. I don't think I forgot that either. So there we go. 4 votes, Marisha. Marisha, you outie. Like, bye-bye. You gone. And then Chappies, this smile is like Cheshire Cat smile, where he just cannot stop. He's like, we played you. Kieran smiling. So, oh my God. Jason, we can finally breathe.
Then after Marisha's torch gets snuffed, she takes 2 steps and turns around, goes back to Nicole, and starts taking off her jacket.
Oh.
This was everything, because I didn't hear Nicole ask for it.
She's not Angela or Angelina, sorry.
And Marisha says, give it to someone else. And Sean says, that's the type of person you voted out?
Yes, we did, yes. Sean. We sure did, boo-boo. And what?
And the stage has been set. This game is rolling. And I'm a Survivor fan, and I hate usually seeing pagonging, where one tribe just takes out the other tribe. But I want to see a pagonging now more than ever.
Thank you.
I want our 6 faves to be the final 6 and to take out the OG Zombas.
Period. I'm so over Zamba. Like, I think I have been. We've talked about this since the start of this podcast. Like, I don't appreciate, how the colors, how the races have lined up, but they have. And, poor Theresa, poor Kian, like, we miss you. And Pinty, don't think I forgot about you. But, like I can't help but root for, the faves who happen to be people of color too, but like who don't really get these kind of chances. I feel like, and I know Chappies and Santini are not people of color, but I'm just saying, like, we don't get this. We really don't.
Another reason why I am not cheering for the OG Vuna member or the OG Zamba members is because of how patronizing they come off
Yes,
in
my
every
God.
conversation. And we heard Santini describe Marisha that way in this episode. And I think that is the best word to describe them. They're just overconfident and patronizing, and nobody wants to work with people like that. And Santini and both Chappies have a layer of humility that makes people want to work with them.
Exactly. And listen, Chappie's investment in Santini is still paying off, man. Is still paying off. And that's so important for us to remember, because Santini, I don't think is going to let him go without a fight. Like, there's no way she's going to do that. And I think, again, Santini is just a smart player. Very Sandra-like, right? Anyone but me. Mm-hmm. But I think she's much smart. She's more strategic in how she does it. Where I think Sandra is very, like, smart in your face about it. Where Santini is kind of like the snake that'll come from behind.
And Sandra has never had an ally like Santini does in Chappies.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. They're just so much fun to watch. Like, this is, like I said, what I want from Survivor. I want my, like, faves. I want the people that are quote unquote counted out to, like, be in power. Like, I'm not one for, like, underdog story. It's not something that works for me. True Slytherin. But I want, like, but I do want my, like, when I have my faves, I just want them to dominate. Like, I don't care. Like, take them all out and then, let's battle it out at the end.
And another bit of Survivor history I just want to acknowledge is that now Tyson has successfully nullified 11 votes through him playing idols. And that is only second to the all-time record holder of Kelly Wentworth voting out Savage in Cambodia. So I think Tyson's going to find another idol. Save someone else and take that record from Wentworth.
And I would love it. Thank you for that stat. I loved it. So yeah, before we get to your threat list, let's do a quick, we also get Sean is pissed off, which again, I don't think it's righteous. Like, the machete thing, like, I get, but like, you were trying to you were trying to vote out someone else. You got. Don't be mad. And then a Chappies versus Rainier moment where Chappies, I think, says, you've stabbed me in the back a few times. Mm-hmm. How can I trust you? Something. So I think something's going to be brewing with the men.
He also tells Rainier that he's not adapting to the game.
Yes. Ooh, which I was like, oh, Rainier, really? So, which, we've been pretty high on Rainier. He was my winner pick last week. So it's really interesting. I still think he has it in him, but, let's see, man, because I just hope, I should say, Vuna 1.0 now doesn't get Zamba-itis and, plays the same way they did. I don't think they did. I think they are used to, like, being the underdogs and playing from the back behind. So I think they'll be fine, but let's see.
And out of the OG Zambas, even though they're not on my list, I think Sean and Amy are going to be the last two standing.
Yeah. Or at least I hope they are. I think Anella and then Amy and then Sean. Like, that's kind of the boot order, I would hope. But we'll see. We'll really see. Speaking of now, Jason, we need to know your infamous threat or your famous threat list. Who is on it?
Well, it hasn't really changed. I am still seen as the biggest threats in this game: Tyson, Santini, Anesu, and I'm buying Chappie stock. I would love to see him win out and go to the end.
Oh my God. Imagine Chappie's winning after all this. Like, is he getting the Tony Vlacho's edit?
Because he could beat his OG Vunas in challenges. If it came down to them being the final six, he would win those last three immunity challenges getting to the end.
Remember, he wants to win 7 out of 9, apparently. And I think he could do it, obviously, but still. Yeah. And my threat list, is I will add Tyson to it. So I have Santini and I think Rainier were on my last week. So now for the women, I think Santini and Nisu are really the ones that are floating up. I think Amy could do it, but I think it's an uphill battle. But that's kind of it for the women. And then for men, I really think it's fluid for me still. So playing the best game right now, Tyson. I think Kieran could be, but I think it's a little bit of an uphill battle. Like, I don't want to forget him. I want to name him.
Yeah.
And then I still think Rhaenyra maybe could pull it out if he is like able to make some moves. Those are my list. With that, anything else, Jason?
Just excited to see what happens next.
Yes. Oh my God. Same. Like, we've just been blessed. Thank you to this cast. And thank you to this cast for just supporting us. Like, we're a small, podcast like channel, but we just love this show and that's why we're doing it. So thank you so much for like retweeting, watching with us. Chappies today watching with us. Like, it's been so nice to just see your comments and, like seeing your insider info a little bit. So we hope we can get y'all once the season's wrapped. We can get a few of you on the show just to chat about this wild season. Anything else, Jason, before we get to plugs?
Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, love it. Let me get to the plugs. Okay, Jason. Wait, I can't find it. Oh no. Sorry, y'all. Give me a second. Technical difficulties. But anyway, screw. Jason, where can people find you?
Well, Sasha's looking for that. You can find me on Twitter at @TheRealJO, where I'm posting about reality TV, both U.S. shows, Big Brother 23, and international shows, not just this, but also Survivor Australia, or Australian Survivor, which we're not covering here. But if you want to hear people talk about it, I would recommend Brink of Reality, as well as everything Shannon is doing on Rob as a podcast.
Oh, Shannon's killing it,
She's killing it.
She deserves all the kudos, though. Like, she's been working so hard. Oh, my God. It's amazing.
As well as I will say, I'm now posting about the upcoming NBA draft. So if you like hoops like I do, follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, it's free agent season. It's time. And as for me, you can follow me on Twitter at funsize_04. I have a good amount of things coming up, actually. So I host a Love and Hip Hop podcast on RHAP, Varda type like skills over here, Jason. So yeah, I host a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta podcast on RHAP. We just started. I had Bryce Isaiah, another survivor, on as the first guest. And next week, I'm going to have Chappelle on to talk episodes 3 and 4. You got the scoop here first, folks. So get excited. You don't need to have any previous knowledge. Jason actually just started watching the season and he's hooked, getting retweeted by the cast. We love it. And I was on RHAP's 90 Day Fiancé this last week. Check that out. Puya and I, always a good time. And I was on the Love Island coverage. Again, I said we should have voted Jeremy out. Here we are, everyone. No spoilers. I won't say anything. It's fine. We made it. And next week, I will have Never Have I Ever preview on post-show recaps with Chappelle again. So if you haven't watched the show, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And if you're still on the fence, check out our preview first and then decide if you want to watch it. Just follow me on Twitter and you'll see all the links. I'll post them again. With that, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video. It will really support us and help us out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel as well. And, just follow us for more reality TV and now scripted TV, because we can now announce that Never Have I Ever coverage is coming to Silent Podcast, baby.
Whoa!
Yes. So apparently Chappelle and I are just going to be fused together for the next few weeks. So Chappelle and I will be covering Never Have I Ever on Silent Podcast. So get excited, everyone. And, we'll have a lot more stuff coming. Check out our Big Brother coverage as well. Thank you, Chappies. We love you. And come back next week where we have the aftermath of all of this. And with that, thank you, everyone, for watching. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.